Hey you guys, it's Watcher Ralph, and I'm here with my sister Christabel, and we're about to do the spoiler-free review of A Wrinkle in Time. Now this is based on a famous book, and this is a Disney film starring Storm Reed, Levi Miller, Derek McCabe, Zach Galifianakis, and Michael Pena.
Along with Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, Mindy Kaling, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, and Chris Pine.
Yes. I was looking forward to this movie because Ava, which she had previously done Selma and 13th, so I was hoping for this movie to be great, especially that she had chosen this project instead of doing Black Panther. At the time, she was attached to it after Selma had come out, and everybody was looking forward to her interpretation of the character, but she had created differences with Marvel. And obviously, I'm pretty pleased with the outcome of that situation, and I'm disappointed in this one.
Yes, I agree. I'm a big fan of the book. I read it growing up, and obviously it's a very ambitious undertaking. Just from seeing this film, you can gather that pretty easily. At the core, it's a children's book, but it has a lot of philosophical and scientific ideas beneath that that would make it a little bit difficult to translate into film. And I think that, like I said, it was ambitious, and they thought that they could capture that, but it falls short in my opinion.
And that in lies the problem with this movie, where it does try to get deep with science and everything, but I feel like the tone and even the execution at the end of the day of storytelling is really meant to be for really young children. I mean, that's the thing. I acknowledge that when you enter a film that is made for kids, you have to understand the tone and the feeling that it's trying to present. But to me, there's always a difference of, can adults or can older people enjoy and see the layers within the movie? But to me, this movie goes deep with the science, but the tone and the overall story to me feels like it's meant to be, I'll be honest, for like a 2 to 4 year old, where almost like an adult is mesmerized with the fact of how much a child is enjoying the movie, but how they're not enjoying it ultimately.
Yes, I think it's very candy coated. One of the things that I had the biggest issue with is that it oftentimes feels like small music videos. They rely very heavily on different songs, as opposed to just incorporating a score that overall is a nice score and they could have taken more advantage of. But I don't know if it was in this effort to make it more commercial. And even understanding what you're saying about the idea of it being for younger audiences, there's a lot of films that are made for very small children that adults are able to appreciate. And I think given that this is such a classic novel that came out decades ago, there were going to be a lot of adults, much older adults, that were going to expect a lot out of this film, because either they read it as a small child, as a teen, as whatever point in their life, and they want to introduce this to whether it's their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, and I don't think they'll be able to appreciate it as much, because it loses the magic that's in the book, that you can still appreciate within the book if you read it as an adult compared to as if you read it as a child.
And to me, the crazy thing is that this is Disney. Disney makes cartoons that are more layered and deeper than this story, and yet I felt like this live action picture didn't have that same essence, that same magic that Disney tends to always present in everything they do. So to me, that was another big problem with me. And that's the whole thing. Like I said, since it's a movie more for kids, I feel like she purposely had the CGI the way she had it so a kid could embrace it, almost more like in a cartoon magical way. But I'm sorry, I believe that this is made for 2 to 4 year olds, because a 6-year-old would go, this special effects aren't up to par. And yes, actually that's my point. They actually mature watching this movie, realizing they're too old for this, because then an 8-year-old would watch this movie and go, whoa, this subject matter is kind of heavy-handed. And yes, an 8-year-old is going to be saying that after watching this movie, because again, they're going to mature. And then a 10-year-old is probably going to be like, hold on, but this story has weird gaps in it. Doesn't make sense to me. How, spoiler, but how does it cut from him interacting with her for the first time, and then it cuts to them having dinner with the mom at a dinner table within her house. I'm like, how does that happen? It felt like they were rushing the story along, and even the moments that it felt like a small music video, they felt redundant in a lot of scenes. Yes. Scenes that literally went somewhere within the scene just to come right back to where the scene started in a lot of sense. And then a 12-year-old would want to see this movie. Okay, I'm messing with you. That's enough already. Right, that's it. So yeah, what I'm getting at is it tried to be this beautiful film, and it just ended up being a pretty movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of filler. Ultimately, it ends up feeling like, and I would even say a lot of style over substance. But I think that that's not intentionally. I think that in a lot of ways they were trying to go so heavy on this substance, but distracting the eye with all this style that the style just ends up trumping all of the substance. And it's unfortunate because it's at no fault of any of the performances. Storm Reid, this is like a very promising young actress. And also, Levi and Derek, they did great jobs in their performances as well. I mean, Levi, the way he looks at Storm Reid, like, you're gonna want like a boy to be looking at you the way that she looks at him, that he looks at her. And I think that you have to acknowledge that these are great performances. Even short performances from Michael Pena and Zach Galifianakis, they do a great job in the small scenes that they're in.
Even Chris Pine.
Chris Pine does a fantastic job in the scenes he's in. Like, everyone's doing a pretty good job. It doesn't feel like anyone's phoning it in, yet at the end of the day, it's just like something's missing. And it's unfortunate because you can tell a lot of behind the scenes footage talking about the making of the film, what a positive environment it was, and how much fun and how proud they were to put out this message, because it really is supposed to have like this really empowering, beautiful message. But something just went wrong along the way, whether it's post-production, whatever it may be. It really falls short.
And to me, it's disappointing to the point that I would consider it a failure in definitely what it was attempting to do, and just the outcome. The outcome to me altogether is it left me very disappointed, and ultimately, like I said, I expected a lot more of this movie. So for that reason, I had to give it stupid.
And unfortunately, even though I wouldn't want to, I end up giving it
stupid. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you guys go and see the movie, judge it for yourself, and then leave comments down below. Now, I'd like to thank my sister Christabel for joining us here. But for now, you can share, like, and subscribe. And you can check out other reviews by clicking over here. You can check out the podcast by clicking over here. And you can subscribe, if you haven't, by clicking somewhere over here where the magic happens. So, till we meet again, goodbye. I'll see you guys.